This one is one that's particularly close to my heart because I know a lot of guys that feel this way. This is a common problem for young men. It's an email we got actually. I just saw it right before the show. So I'm a 26-year-old man who works a low-wage job at a fast food restaurant and feel that I'm extremely stuck and emasculated. I've been to trade school, it didn't pan out. I live in an area where the cost of living is extremely high, so I cannot afford to move out of my parents' house. And all the jobs that I would like to have for improving my life are not hiring, or I do not have enough experience to get to to do them. I want to trust the Lord, but it's very hard. And when I ask for advice from my parents and people their age, many of them uh, say that things are so different since they were younger that they don't know what to do. How do I keep my faith and hope in an economy and America that isn't for people who want to get married and raise a family like me?
Yeah, no, I mean, good question. One thing I would say is don't beat yourself up too much about being 26, still living at home. Jesus was 33 years, still lived at home with his mom. Okay, so don't beat yourself up over that. By doing that, you're doing that as a fiscally wise decision right now of just like, hey, I'm being able to save up more money. I'm able to generate some income. And it's not because you want to be there. It's not because you lack ambition. It's not because you want to go, don't want to go change the world and you just want to sit at home playing Minecraft all day. I assume you're just realizing, hey, it makes a lot of money to save up some money as long as I've got this. You may want to explore, like, is this the right zip code to be living in? Like, if it's such a high cost of living in this particular area, would I have more, freedom when it comes to where to live and which careers to pursue if I were living in a different place? And so you might want to put your feelers out in terms of economic opportunities and employment opportunities in other locations. Like, do you have a particular skill set of a job that you might want to be doing 5, 10 years from now, but it involves picking up and moving? That takes a lot of risk. It takes a lot of fear, but it could open up the opportunities that just aren't happening in your particular area. And so don't be afraid to do that. I would say to try to widen your horizon in terms of where you might be able to find employment and then discern, okay, where do I really want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And it might be like, I'd love to have this kind of job. I'd love to have that. Okay, well, what is required for you to get there? Well, I lack the training. I lack the education. Okay, well, what needs to happen for you to get the training, to get the education? Don't get discouraged by the small steps that you need to take to complete the long journey. I mean, they say like a journey of 1,000 miles is just completed one step at a time. But as long as you've got the destination in mind, like, hey, I want to run this particular kind of business. I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to be able to do this. I was talking to the other guy the other day who has had multiple businesses that he's owned and he's sold and he's done real well. But he also said, yeah, the first several ones I started up were a total failure. And, now he's a very successful businessman. And so don't be afraid of inevitable failure. That's a prerequisite for success. And so if you fail the first time, fine. Second, fine. Third, fine. Just keep pressing on and persevere, because I can understand the feeling of emasculation of just like, look, I want to be able to provide and protect for a future wife. And if, I meet a girl and she finds out what I do for a living and I live with my parents, and they're just going to be like, oh, thanks, you're not really a prospect. Allow that to motivate you to make risky but wise financial decisions and career moves of just like, I know I don't want to be here 2 years from now. And if it means I need to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to start putting my nose at the grindstone and working on this particular job skill or that one. Just go for it. But just don't be discouraged by where you're at right now. Just be discouraged if you're not making the efforts to get where you want to be 5, 10 years from now.
I've been in this exact situation, so I would like to
Yeah,
speak
please
to this
toss
guy.
in. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I moved to Steubenville like 3 or 4 years ago, and before I did it, I was working myself to the bone. I'm sure people have heard this because I've said it in a number of different places online, but I was working 6 12-hour night shifts a week. I was working 6 p.m. until 6 a.m.
Like,
Um, because it was the job I could get that made the most money. And I saved up enough money to move to Steubenville, and I didn't even have job prospects really. I just knew that I could afford to live in this place if I could get myself on my feet. I could find another job like that one, and I could afford to live there. Um, so, that's one thing. And another thing that I think, because I was in this situation, you are right to be angry about this. The fact that we live in a society that forces young men to be in these situations, young men and young women, but especially young men, to be in these situations, it is not correct. Like I want to be clear to you or to any young man who else is watching that Jason and I are saying these are the things you need to do to get out of it, but we're not saying that it should be like this. Um, so it sucks and you're gonna have to be miserable for a while, but there are ways out and you know, don't be scared of those things.
Yeah. And I mean, historically, this is not how careers worked. I mean, for the whole history of mankind, it's typically been the father training a child as an apprentice within the particular trade that the father had learned. It just got passed down from one kid to the next kid. That's why so many last names have to do with the career occupation, blacksmith, whatever, that had to do with the job that you had. The smith, that means your dad was this type of smith, that type of smith. That's just the way it's always been historically. And now it's, you go through the college and like, here, send you out of the world with $900,000 in college debt, and career opportunities that seem to be disappearing. Like Josiah said, I mean, the system is a difficult one to break through, but we just want to encourage you, let you know we're praying for you. You're not alone in it. But I know, Josiah, when you got there to Steubenville and you started working with Matt Fradd, I remember Matt telling me just how ambitious you were to learn the craft, the technical skills. I mean, the way that you set up our cameras, look at the white balance, the ISO, check this, the 12,500, like you didn't have that stuff when you were 15, 16 years old. Like you went after it, you pursued it. You didn't wait for it to come to you. And so we just want to encourage you, just try to really dream big of where you want to be 5, 10 years from now. Pray to God that the right doors might be opened, and just keep working and working until you get your big break. Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, I'd encourage you to please like, subscribe, share, comment. That helps show it to more people. And then also submit your question at the email live@chastity.com, or submit your question or call in through our Discord server so we can talk to you in person on our next show.